What is up, my YouTube fam? The surgeon Javi is back once again with the crack screen repair episode. Today we are taking it back to 2016 with the Throwback Thursday, and we'll be going over a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. In this episode, we will be removing the front glass screen from the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge and replace it with a new front glass. Since we will be removing the middle frame from the AMOLED display, this is a good opportunity to replace a bad charging port, or if you're having issues with the home button, that can be replaced as well. Now keep in mind, this is an advanced repair. We do make it look easy, but we have many years experience handling these devices. So we recommend that you do not try this at home. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave your comments down below. And if you have a phone that needs to be repaired, feel free to reach out to us. You can visit our website at www.mrphonedoctor.com. As always, please do not forget to subscribe and smack the bell to stay up to date on our latest repair videos and giveaways. We've got some really cool stuff in the works that I don't want you to miss out on. So let's step back into the shop and let's get this sucker dissected.
Back up, back up, back up, back up. Back up, back up, back up, back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the seven, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup.
Alright, what's up, my YouTube family? How you guys doing out there? So as promised, here is the video on the S7 Edge. Still a really great phone, and I'm sure there's a lot of these still circulating out there, so I just wanted to share this video in case there's any of you guys looking up, seeing how this screen repair is done, and if it's possible to do a glass only replacement, which is a majority of the repairs that we do. And I'm sure it's a repair that is common with a lot of users out there, because typically what happens is whenever you break your screen, you know, the front top glass is actually what gets damaged, and the AMOLED display, which is under here, is fully working. So this repair is going to basically cover just going over the front glass repair on the S7 Edge. So let's dig in. Alright, so we do want to firstly test everything on here, make sure that the touch is fully working. So we're going to go in and go to touch. And if you notice on this one here, you can actually see a couple bruises on the screen. The previous user of this may have put pressure on here that caused it to bruise the AMOLED display. There's a bruise here, 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 and two little guys right here. Hope you guys can see those, just so you can reference and identify what a bruise is. Normally, if the impact is a lot harder and strenuous, what's going to happen is these little dark bruises are going to actually bleed. They'll end up bleeding and they turn to dark black blots. So pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and finish up. We're going to test the touch. You can see everything here is fully working, which is great. Just what we want. Boom. She looks good. So we can go ahead and move over to the next step, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove the middle frame from the AMOLED display and the glass. So we're going to go in and separate everything from the inside and work our way out. So we have successfully removed the middle frame from the AMOLED display. She looks perfect. And this is another route also if you guys do want to replace your charging port. This part can be soldered right here if you know how to solder, or If you have the skill, then you can actually remove this whole charging port. It easily comes out right here. If you lift up here on these sub keys actually come up. Let me get the right tools. This sub key here will actually lift up and come on out underneath the from the back side. See that? So these are all intact. You do want to be careful when you are doing this removal not to damage these. Sometimes you'll go through and end up cutting it right here on this little wing, causing it to damage the port, but this is how you would remove the charging port. I'm going in further detail here just so you guys can see how this is done. See that? Maybe I'll include in the title also changing the charging port on the S7 Edge, how to. But yeah, you would have to remove the display from the mid frame in order to get this off. And you see, it all comes off as one. So this part here is repairable. So if you're having issues with the microphone or charging port or any of these sub keys here, the back and the full menu button, you can actually replace this part. This is replaceable as well as the home button. So we just have to remove this gasket, and you can see that this home button will easily pop off. And I'm being pretty forceful, guys. You don't want to force the flex on these. Always mind the flex. I'm just doing this, you know, for video's sake and to speed up the process. But whenever you're handling these, you don't want to tug on them and forcefully remove them. Always be gentle. That's our model here, Mr. Phone Doctor. Mind the flex, because these flexes are very delicate. If damaged, you're pretty much SOL, unless you have like a flex bond machine to replace them. So now that we have the mid frame removed, we can go ahead and clean the back of the AMOLED, and then we'll give it a test.
Love's electric, electric, blows my mind when we get connected. I can feel it running through my veins tonight. Bring me back to life.
Okay, AMOLED is nice and clean. We can go ahead and test the touch, make sure everything's fully working. There we go. She looks beautiful. Fully working. So now we can move forward to the next step, which is going to be removing the AMOLED display from the broken glass. Now these are a little bit trickier because they are longer up on top, so we do need to actually clip this. That way we have a nice clean entrance and less risk of clipping the polarizer. You never want to clip the polarizer on these. Once you clip it, you're pretty much done, game over. I mean, there is a method of replacing the polarizer, but it is very risky, and I'd say a high percentage of the time you're gonna end up losing the screen. So no to damaging the polarizer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my little handy dandy pliers, and we are gonna just go ahead and clip this, break this off so we have a nice clean entry point. Alright, she's clean, ready to go. We'll set this on here and we will begin removing the glass from the AMOLED. Okay, so we are ready to begin removing the AMOLED display from the glass. I'm going to go in and just put my initials on here, just like I always do. Now my initials just indicate that this is the same AMOLED that we use throughout the process, just so you guys are familiar and you guys know that we're not swapping any screens or anything throughout. So let's go and begin removing the AMOLED display. Okay, display is removed. She came off beautiful. Look at that. No glue. Well, a little bit of glue, but majority of the glue stayed on the glass, which is awesome. That's what we want. This will be a very easy cleanup. So let's go ahead and give her a test. Make sure that she works. There we have her. Done. She is beautiful, ready for cleaning, and then we can laminate the glass. All right, the AMOLED should be nice and toasty now. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the OCA from the screen. All right, AMOLED display is now clean. I'm going to remove it from the mold. Give it a little detailed cleaning on the edges. Perfect. Beautiful. Everything looks to be working 100%. So she's good. Be ready for some glass. Now the next tricky part is picking what color we're gonna make her. Probably just go with standard black. But yeah, so there he is. Nice and clean. So let's go to move over to the laminating station and we'll finish up this screen repair. Alright guys, welcome back to the laminating station. We're going to go in and finish off with the Samsung S7 Edge screen repair. So the first step, of course, like always, is we're going to want to apply the OCA onto the glass that we're going to use, which we're going to be using this one here, the black glass for the S7 Edge. So let's go ahead and apply the OCA onto the mold. And next we'll go ahead and put the glass onto the mold, and we'll sandwich all this together. All right, let this cook for about a minute and a half, and we'll go ahead and put the glass into the bubble remover to remove any kind of bubbles that we get. The OCA to glass lamination has finished. I'm going to want to inspect the glass, and I do see a few small minor bubbles up on top. So I am going to go ahead and put it in the autoclave machine for, I'd say, about 13 minutes. That way we can remove all these little bubbles. Let me show you guys what I am seeing here. So if you look up on the top right corner right here, you can see a little bubble appearing, and there's another one right up here on this top left corner right there. See that? So we want to make sure all the bubbles are removed, so that's why we use this machine here, the autoclave, which actually does a great job at removing all the imperfections that come out. So we'll drop this in here. and then we'll be back as soon as this gets done. Okay, the bubble removing process has finished. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the glass, examine it, make sure all the bubbles have been removed successfully. And she looks perfect. Let me go ahead and show you guys the outcome of the bubble removing. See that? If you look at the top right, bubbles have disappeared. Good. And top left, same thing, they have disappeared. So now we can go in and finish the S7 Edge screen repair and laminate this onto the AMOLED display.
Turn it on, turn it on. 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 Your love's electric, electric, blows my...
Okay, so we'll let this laminate. Once it's done laminating, we'll go ahead and put it one last time into our bubble remover and remove any kind of imperfections that it got from the air bubbles being trapped between the OCA and the AMOLED display. All right, so laminating has finished. We're gonna want to go and inspect the display for any kind of bubbles that may have appeared. So there is a few little bubbles, so we're gonna go ahead and put the screen into the autoclave machine. Let me show you guys what we have. See right there in the top left, there's one. And there's a few little guys on here. You can see one right there on the lower right. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and pop this bad boy in this autoclave. Same amount of time. And once we're done, that'll finish up this Samsung S7 Edge screen repair. Okay, so the bubble removing process has finished. We're going to want to go and inspect the display, make sure there are no more bubbles. And she came out flawless. So we are going to want to go ahead and test it. Make sure everything is still fully working. And there she is. Here's our finished product. So you can see a couple of the little blemishes that we had. But everything is fully responsive. I'm just going to show you guys the final screen. You can see there are no imperfections whatsoever. Everything looks perfect. So that's going to pretty much wrap up our Samsung S7 Edge front glass screen repair. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them down below. And if you guys like what you see, please subscribe and hit the little bell so that we get notified whenever we do have some cool giveaways or we have a new video that comes out. Once again, guys, I'm Javier with Mr. Phone Doctor, signing out. Cheers.